Welcome everyone. My name is Giulia Marrazzo and I'm a project manager at DLR, the European Digital Learning Network, who is organizing this event. And I'm here with my colleague Moran behind the scenes, who will help us with all technical aspects. So before starting, just like to let you know that you are all muted, but you can interact with us with the chat, and you can send questions for the speakers. And we will answer during the Q&A. Also, at the end, we will have an interactive session, so you will be able, if you want, to even speak and share your work. So stay with us until the end. Yeah, and that's all. For any issues that you have, use the chat, and we will try to help you there. So the topic is today is school innovation, and precisely how to implement school innovation labs. I will share my screen to start my presentation and to introduce the agenda. So this event is taking place in the framework of the EU-funded project Schools Innovation Labs that I'm going to introduce to you. And we will have an introduction about that. I will explain you what we mean by School Innovation Labs. And then we have a guest speaker from EKA University of Applied Science at Cerkowskis. I hope I pronounced it correctly. Who will talk about gamification of the education process. After that, we'll have some time for questions, and as I told you, we will interact with you with an online activity. So we hope you will like it, and it's linked to what I'm going to present to you. So pay attention and don't hesitate to ask if there's anything you wish to know during the presentation. Feel free to send questions anytime. Before starting, I ask you to go to this website, menti.com, to do some an activity with you. You can go on this site and enter the code that you see on the screen and that you are also receiving in the chat, or scan the QR code. So you should be able to see this question now when you enter. I'll let you some time to get there. Okay, and when you have opened Mentimeter, you can start typing your answer. So the question is, what comes to your mind when you hear school innovation? It can be a concept or just an idea, anything. Something that you already do at school if you are if you are a teacher, if you work. Okay, I see the first answers coming. You can send more than one. You can send up to 3 or 5. So we have working group, digitalization project. Okay, involvement, working group, interested. Ideas, future-oriented school, nice. Okay, so far digitalization is the most frequent answer. Involvement, okay, it's changing. Let's see if it's stabilizing. New ideas, new ways of teaching, something new. Okay, so I see you have ideas, emotional intelligence, okay, and these are all ICT, these are all correct, of course. There's no right or wrong, but anything that comes to your mind will, yeah, I think we will talk about all of these things. Great, I will stop sharing the Mentimeter and go back to, okay, last ideas coming. curiosity. Nice one. So to go back to my presentation, as I told you, we are hosting this event as a part of this European project that is called SciLab. That means School Innovation Labs. It is a 2 years project ending this month, funded by the Erasmus Plus program of the European Commission, involving 8 organizations from all over Europe. And the objective of the project is to introduce iLabs, so that means innovation labs in schools. And I'm going to explain you what they are in a moment. So the partner organizations are the following. We have a coordinator, which is a school from Rijeka in Croatia. Then we have 3 school partners, one from Bulgaria, one from Greece, and one from Portugal. And we also have non-school partners, such as DeLearn, the PAR University from Croatia, Trebak, which is an innovation company in Hungary, and IDEC, a consulting and training company in Greece. We are at the end of the project now, so we have produced 2 key results. The first one is a guide on how to implement school innovation labs. That is basically what we have done these 2 years, collaborating with our school. And then an online brainstorming platform that I'm going to introduce later, which was developed by our partner Trebag. And you can find both of these results already on our website that you will receive also in the chat in a moment. The guide is now available in English, but very soon it will be also uploaded in the other languages of the partnership. So what is an innovation lab after all? Maybe some of you already know, or maybe you got an idea by looking already at our website. It is, by definition, an innovation laboratory is an inspirational, innovative space divided into 2 smaller facilities. We have a bigger one for brainstorming, where the students or people in general use computers and other tools to network, to collaborate, exchange ideas, and work together. And the other one, what we call a breakout room, that is more for relaxing, chatting, rethinking. It's a chill out area for breaks or for discussing in smaller groups. And this concept comes from the world of business, from the entrepreneurial world. And the idea of our project was to bring it into school, to allow students to work in a different space from the usual classroom that they are in every day. So there are some key elements that characterize an iLab. The first one is the environment. I will show you some pictures and you will see that it is a very inspiring environment, modern, with colors that stimulate the brain, that stimulate creative thinking. And it can have also a theme that can be agreed with all the students together, with co-creation sessions. So it is already an activity, part of the SciLab creation, part of the SciLab process. Because to come back to the definition, in the SciLab you can do a range of different things. You can have workshops, you can organize games, you can organize brainstorming sessions, co-creative workshops, anything that you'd like. So this space should be also designed to be very flexible. And to show you some pictures, this is what was done in Portugal. They bought these rolling chairs and tables so that people could easily form different groups as they liked. These are the tables and chairs used in Croatia. So you see they use tables with a lot of curves to create a more informal environment. They use bright colors. They even decorated their own room as they liked. And this is a breakout room from the school in Bulgaria. This is a video from the school in Greece. I'm going to play it. You should be able to hear the sound, and it describes the creation process of this room from the very beginning. And you will see that they even reused some existing equipment that, or they refurbished some equipment. So let's have a look. I don't know if you hear it.
Okay, Julia, we have a message from Valerio who is saying that participants are hearing the sound but not the video.
Okay, let's. I try to turn off the camera and play it again.
Yeah. Julia, the problem is still on. So personally, I see the video, but for example, Valerio is still saying that there's the noise, but no video.
Okay.
The participant, can you tell us if the case is the same for all of you or not in the chat, please, if you could see the video. Julia, maybe you can send the video later.
Okay, anyway, you have seen the other pictures, so it doesn't really matter. It's strange because it used to work before. Okay, but you see the presentation, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it's low quality. Okay, good. So it was just to show you what was done and how the students can really co-create the space and make it their own taste, how they like it. So I'd like to pass to talk about the second element, which is the technology. So the first one was the environment. Technology is quite important because it helps to increase interaction. So at least Scilab rooms should have good internet access, laptops, projectors and screens, some tablets, a good audio system, and digital cameras. So these are some like basic equipment, but then you can really be creative, and if you have the possibility, also include more advanced tools such as robots, so that can help to teach some coding, virtual reality glasses, smart boards, charging trolleys, tablets, as we said already, and professional cameras. So the more, the better. There will be more possibilities of also teaching digital skills. As you correctly said in the beginning, digitalization is part of school innovation, of course. Then we have the third element, that is the facilitator, which in the school case is the teacher. But it's much more than a teacher. It's the person who designs the room, who designs the sessions, and guarantees that everything flows well, and also helps with the use of the technology. But it's not someone who must know all about technology. It can just be, there can be extra support for IT issues. And the most important thing about a facilitator that we discovered during our project as well is that they must be motivated to do this, to work in the Scilab. And if there is motivation, basically, they will find solutions to any issue that they may have. To show you some more examples, this is a room from Portugal. With you see different kinds of technology used and different kind of areas in the same room. Actually, in their case, they didn't have a separate breakout room, but they had everything in one room, and they organized the space in a way that could serve different activities. For example, you see number one was video and image station. Then they have a cooperative and interactive workstation, a sharing and recording station, a research and autonomous work zone, programming, a robotics station, a chill out station. So this would be the breakout room that we talked about before, with sofas, even an aquarium, and then a graphic production station where they included also a 3D printer. I see there is a question. Yes, so if you don't see the presentation and you see only the camera, you can close the window with the camera. I don't know if anybody else has this issue, but the window with the video and the presentation are two different windows. So just close the one with the camera or reduce it, because the presentation is shown properly now, I think. Okay, so keep in mind this example, because this will come in handy for the interactive activity that you're going to do later. And why is it so important to introduce iLabs in schools? Basically because this kind of spaces boost the students' collaboration, creativity. They can produce more things and ideas more effectively. And they can develop skills that they usually don't really develop in a traditional school environment. And it's a taste of a future possible business life. So from our experience, we saw that the students really like to work in a space that they created themselves, and it has really positive results. So as I told you before, we have produced two main results, and the first one is this guide that I'm going to present to you. This guide is basically a step-by-step guide to the implementation of innovation labs based on the experience that we had, containing both theoretical information about what is a school innovation labs and also a lot of practical tips and lesson plans that you can do as a teacher. It is addressed mainly to school teachers, mainly secondary school, but can be adapted to different ages, as you will see. So it is really based on the experience that we had with our partner schools, because they really developed this kind of innovative sessions, as you have seen in the video. So they really did this, and after they reported their experience, and we were able to put together this guide, so including practical examples and also pitfalls and challenges, and the way they dealt with this kind of challenges. We have 7 chapters, so we have introduction about what are innovation labs, how they can be created, some tips to get started, including how online tools such as the Brainstorming platform can be used. And then we have a lot of templates coming from the partner schools who developed some lesson plans to run different kind of activities in the Scilab. We have also in chapter 4 more general templates for breaking the ice. We have self-assessment and evaluation indication and templates here as well, and finally some recommendations that we put together. So we have developed then some infographics that collect these lessons learned. So there is no one size fits all approach, but we have collected the different ways that they have used to do these activities, and then try to find some conclusions, some recommendations. You see even that the students who participated were chosen differently. Some teachers used the full classroom altogether. Some others they selected students and made groups. And in the end, I will show you some recommendations on the best way to do that. And there are a lot of additional, let's say, recommendations, methodology that are just based on hands-on experience from our teachers. And also, you will see that the topics that are tackled are really broad. These are some of the Scilab sessions topics. We have, for example, entrepreneurship, but in general, but also more practical activities like planning a trip, which can boost really the spirit of initiative of the kids. We have topics such as how was life in ancient Greek times, so that could be linked to history, but also how to create your escape room. These are only a few, but you will see many more in the guide. And these topics really are good to be linked to, let's say, to school subjects, but also do things that normally they wouldn't do in the classroom, and also do it in a fun way. Also, we had topics like climate change, internet addiction, which really can develop also a sense of social responsibility and ownership. And as I told you, the assessment part was quite important. And we included even some examples of fun and not so fun facts that happened during the iLabs, and how teachers dealt with it. In the recommendations, you will find some advice, but again, basically every teacher can find their own way to develop their personalized Scilab. We had quite some challenges that we faced, also because the project was developed in a time of pandemic. It started in 2019, so during the period when we had really to do the activities in class, it was not possible to be there, so we had to find creative ways to even work online, even work outdoors. Sometimes one of the schools used the outdoor space. In general, the advice is to be flexible, to try to make groups of students that already know each other, that are more or less the same age. And regarding the equipment, in our case, we had the budget from the project to purchase some equipment, but if you don't have any funds for that, as it was done in the Greek case or in other schools' cases, you can easily reuse equipment or rent it, borrow it, or just use second-hand things that may already be available in the room. I think we have time to show you briefly the brainstorming platform. So this tool was developed to be used in the Scilab classroom. So to stimulate collaboration and to help students organize their ideas. You need to have an account to log in. It's quite easy to use. There is even a manual with some instructions. And you can start a brand new session, you can join an existing one, and you can have a history of your sessions. So to create a collaborative session, you can choose a topic, you can set some rules like the brainstorming time. The nice thing is that there is an option to rate the ideas so that it helps to choose the best one. You can choose the idea rating criteria, and you have to set password to join. So after you have completed this, you get a link that you can give to your students. They can join from their smartphone or tablet, and they can start brainstorming. Once you have chosen the idea and the time is over, I'll show you in one of the examples that we have done. Everything is stored here, so you are able to see the results. For example, this was an idea that was entered. You can see how many voted. In this case, it's 0 because it was just a test. You can download the results, and if you like this idea, you can even start a new brainstorming from there. Again, as I showed you before, you can create a new brainstorming. So this is a tool, yeah, as I told you, it was meant to be used in the Scilab in the room, but actually we used it a lot also online because the students couldn't be in the classroom at that time. I see we have some questions. Okay, no, just a link to let you know where to find the link to the guide. So if there is no question on that, I would give the floor to Edgars. You can open your webcam and your microphone.
Hello, good evening, colleagues.
Hi, hello. I'll give you the floor to share your screen as well.
Thank you.
Okay, so you can already introduce yourself and directly start with the presentation.
Okay. Thank you, dear colleagues. My name is Edgars Čerkovskis, and I am from EKA, University of Applied Science. And today our topic is gamification of the educational process. So in the first, actually, games are universal part of the human experience and exist across all cultures. Many different types of games exist, which makes an exact definition difficult. However, games can largely be defined by the following characteristics. We are using these characteristics also in our university. For example, rules for students. Games are activities that are rules that are different from everyday life. These rules generally exist to define the scope of the player's choice of action throughout the game. The second one is feedback system. Much of a game interactivity relies on its feedback system, which is often instant. And the consequences of a player's actions are usually presented immediately of taking the action. And of course, very important is the goals. A game goals or victory conditions is clearly defined. Often games have several mini goals which field points towards the ultimate goal, that for victory, but in nearly our cases the part victory is clear and known to all players, with the expectations participants in gaming is voluntary and it is primarily for enjoyment. The gamifications are relive neologism. The term gamification has been used in many forms in different contexts. In our university, gamifications is defined as an introduction of application of elements of games. What make games so enjoyable? Into other areas of life, this report also in our university, our reports focused specialty on the applications of such elements into education. Unlike using games to teach, for example, asking our students to play word-based games like Scrabble and other systems. To including better reading skills, gamification focuses on extracting the understanding principles of games and asking better, and education experience can be reconfigured to build one choose principle. Elements also created engagement through their internal design, how they foster students' engagement, and ultimately creating an environment of intense focus that stimulates learning and retention of information. In ECA, in our university, we have classified these elements into three categories. It's mechanical part, personal, and emotional. And for example, mechanical part, it's incremental progressions, onboarding instant feedback, like goals, sub-goals, questions, and so on. The second also, it's more like personal. We're talking about avatars, collectives responsibility, leaderboards, and so on. And of course, very important is emotional part, using the concept, for example, of flow. So the gamification spans all principles of game design. However, these are some mechanisms which have gained prominence of the most fundamental with wide applicability, particular in education. So, incremental progress system. In gamification, goals, challenge, and quests. In most game, particular video games, for example, part of the reward for solving a problem is to be presented with a slightly more difficult problem. A game's sub-goals, often called mission, levels or quests are layered in such a way as to present incremental challenges to the player. They are clearly defined and segmented, and in many cases offer isolated rewards. Budget building on the increment or also of incremental progression. Games often incorporate visible symbols of achievement, often termed budget or living up. And this provides more intermediate goals of their game to ensure that the players is not only focused on the immediate tasks, which might lead to the lack of interests once completed, or on the ultimate goals of the course, which might be too far of a target motivation. If we are talking about onboarding and increasable accessibilities, onboarding concerns in the first interaction a player has with the game. Most games, particularly video games, for example, have tutorials which aim to guide players through the until first few minutes of play. If they are not explicit tutorials, early levels will often play the role of a tutorial. Such leaves are generally easy to complete and serve to introduce the concept which make up the game one by one. And game use onboarding to the acquainting players with the mechanism on the game and the objectives. In a game field educational environment, this serves to propose. Instant feedback also is very important, and games are designed to be responsive. The consequence of a player choice or action during a game are either a partner to as they make the decision of related to them almost immediately. Where consequences are delayed, progress towards the expected impact of the sections of often clearly displayed or is otherwise reality available to the player. And players can use such promotes and delays to access opportunities and treats as they progress. Visible status, for example, avatars games often provide players with an avatar representation of self with the game that is visible to other players. Avatars vary from 3D representations of characteristics to abstract symbols. They are almost always designed in such a way as to permit and elements of personal expressions and creativity. And also, of course, collective responsibility. This is form of gamification is designed to use group-based activities to provide an incentive for learners to keep learning. Many popular, for example, online video games such as League of Legends or is played by upward approximately 67 million people each month, are also focused on the concept of teamwork and cooperation. In these and in nearly every team sport, players described scenes of not waiting to let down their teammates as a key motivational factors. Leaderboards or ranking of competitive games rank the players in order of ability of achievement, and the most widely used of these is a leaderboard where players or teams are displayed, often using a points-based system demonstrating accumulated results. The introduction of leaderboards is among the most common elements of gamification. For ethical reasons, using public leaderboards for students' achievement at the basic educational level is uncommon. Choose at the bottom for loss of confidence and motivation. So the gamification at the university level appears to be the product of instructors who wish to deliver course in innovation way. For instance, for example, the Delft University of Technology gamification courses were not part of the department-wide program. At the primary schools level, adoption of game field courses has been similarly ad hoc, although they were likely approved by the department. In the corporate settings, game field educational tools tend to be being as experiments when traditional educational system present difficulties. And for example, the Deloitte Leadership Academy game field executive training program was implemented by the manager of innovation to comfort competing demands on the time of their target audience. And in the end, the ability to implement of a gamification course resolves findings of an institution having an international innovator with enough authority within the organizations to devote the time and resources to a new and relevant content enterprise. However, it can be aided by the presence of existing gamifications, firms, or also programmers. Thanks to your attention, and do you have some questions?
Thank you so much, Edgar. It was really clear and interesting. We have some time for questions now, so please send them in the chat. And I'd like to ask you, while we wait for the audience to write, I'd like to ask you if you could share maybe some recommendations, since I imagine we have quite few teachers listening or educators, some recommendations and tips for teachers that want to start using this approach in their educational activities. So where to start if they want to.
I'm sorry, I think we have some technical problems because unfortunately I'm not hear you.
Okay. Moran, can you tell me if you hear me?
I do.
Okay. Then maybe it's just Edgar's sound. Is it better now? Hello? You can write in the chat if you can try to exit and log in again. Moran, please, can you try to write in the chat?
Edgar? Can you no, he's not hearing us.
Moran, can you please write in the chat to see if he
Yeah.
can reply? And maybe ask him to exit and join again. I hear typing.
That's me.
Okay. Okay, I suggest maybe we can move on and leave the questions for the end or after I have explained the activity. So I'd like to play a video now. I hope you can hear this one. You should be able to. In order to explain you the interactive activity that we want to do together. So you will receive in the chat shortly a link to this platform that is called Sketchpad. And I will ask you to go on this website and create your own Scilab room. So you have heard from examples of what is a school innovation labs. You have heard about gamification and what are some, you probably got some ideas about how games can be used in an educational setting. So I'm going to show you this video now and also send you the link in the chat to Sketchpad. And yes, here it is. And then I will try to hear from Edgar's when he joins again.
Tutorial to explain how to use a Sketchpad platform. So the first thing that we need to do is to go to the plus, and that way we can start creating. Then we have to choose our background. For me it's going to be transparent, and then we click on create. Here we will find the tools bar, and we have the select option, crop area size, lines, forms, emojis, text and colors. So I will start with the forms. I will choose a rectangle, and here the color that I want to put, for example pink. Then we click on the background and we have our form, and we can resize it and move it and put it wherever we want. Here then we can go and put some text, and we can choose the font, for example Lato, the color that we want to have, I don't know, maybe gray. And here we will see the preview as you see, and start writing. And as everything, we can resize it and move it through our background. Then the best option will be like to choose between different type of emojis about what we think that a Scilab classroom is, and for example, we can put people talking, such as here. Also this. We can search on technology, put a laptop, also a camera. Also we can search for a blackboard. For me we'll choose this one, the whiteboard. And here we can also move our emoji. We can also search for some pencil. This one's with color, and put it here. And then when we think that our drawing is done, we can go here to the folder open, and we will find it here. And then we will have here the option to delete, download, or duplicate our creation. And this way we will have our Scilab classroom created.
Okay, I hope that was clear. So I invite you to go already there on the platform and start working on your Scilab classroom. I don't know if we have Edgar's back. I don't think so. So please go on the platform and start doing your creative activity. We have 10 minutes before we have to end the webinar, so I'll leave you some time. In the meanwhile, I would like to try and play another video that maybe can give you some ideas, but please, in the meanwhile, oops, sorry. In the meanwhile, just try to design something. Doesn't have to be the full Scilab, but just the idea, and maybe pick a theme. Something that I forgot to mention. The theme, we said it's quite important, so we got some ideas from our project. It can be, for example, the space, or some more natural theme like the jungle or the ocean, or even your favorite TV series or your favorite movie, anything that you like. And then we'll have some time to share what you have done if you wish to. Otherwise, you can just email that work to us or share it on social media. So while you're working, I will try to play this video, and please, Moran, let me know in the chat if it works. And this is a video from the School Innovation Labs in Croatia, in Rijeka. Since the sound is breaking, then I will just remove the sound. This is the brainstorming platform that can be used in the Scilab. So even if you want to have a big screen in your space, don't forget, it can be a brainstorming area, for example. Okay, so I wanted to put some music for you to have it in the background, but apparently it's not working well. So put your own music if you want, and I'll see you here in 5 to 8 minutes for the ones who want to share. Otherwise, I give you the social media details so that you can know where to share your work if you want to. It's right here. We have both Instagram and Facebook of Scilab project and also Dlearn. It's at the end of the presentation. Here. So I'll leave it here for you to check and see you in a bit. If you have any questions regarding to the use of Sketchpad, just type in the chat and my colleagues will probably be able to help you. See you later. Stay until the end, please, because I will have an evaluation questionnaire to share with you. Actually, we will send it now in the chat in case any of you need to leave early. So please, Moran, if you can send it in the chat. It's an evaluation questionnaire to have your feedback on this event. And in any case, you will also receive it via email. Thank you and see you later. Okay, hi again. I don't know if you are still working, but if there's someone who wants to share, we can start sharing since we have to soon close the event. Even if you haven't finished, don't hesitate. And to do that, you can raise your hand, and then we will give you the right to speak and to share your screen. So don't be shy. Anybody? Yes, I see one hand, Borja. Moran, can you give the floor to him, please? Can we please give the floor to... Okay, yes, we can hear you. You should be able to...
Colgar pantalla, aquí.
I don't see your screen. I don't know how we can...
I'm trying to share.
And your webcam as well, if you want.
Wait. I can't share the screen. Wait a minute, please.
Yeah, okay, no problem. If anybody else wants to do that, just raise your hand and we will try with you. Okay, I received a request to share my screen, but it should be Borja's screen. Okay, this seems not to be working. Borja, do you see any notification?
Wait. In camera web.
I sent you a request for the webcam. I think you should be maybe, you can try to make you organizer. Moran, I don't know. You should have received an invitation, Borja. What did you receive? Okay, wait. You should click on accept when you receive the invitation to share the screen. Did you receive anything?
But where do I receive the?
Just on the main screen. Like now I have just received an invitation. I'm sharing my screen.
Okay, wait. No.
But you should receive one when Moran is sending it to you.
Now?
Yes, now. Okay, yes, perfect. We can see it.
Okay, wait.
And you can
okay,
if
now.
you want to, you can share your webcam too so that we can see it. So that we can see. I just sent you a request for the webcam.
Okay, send me please.
Okay.
Borja, it's Moran. We can see your screen. Please go back on the sketch. And could you please explain why? Yeah, we see you as well. Could you please explain why you did this and the representation and stuff?
Okay.
Now
so
I have
I have painted this, basing a little bit in the example of Irache, but I have changed some things that I have put in the middle the people that I think that is the most important part of any type of classroom or any type of activity, and this in this example also. And then I have put them thinking about new ideas or new projects, I don't know how to say, to make that they are using, for example, here a computer and a mobile phone, for example, here, and then related to the gamification, I have put this dice, I think that is the name in English, dice, that symbolizes the gamification, in my opinion. And then this lightning is like, I have think about the idea of, the idea of having like powerful ideas, or I don't know. And then a little amount of books that I think that they are also useful for new projects or new ideas, because in the books there is a lot of information apart from internet, obviously, but in these days the books are also useful for innovative things. That's my idea.
Thank you, very nice. Yes, you're totally right. There's not only technology but also offline games and books. Thank you. So we can stop sharing your screen. And is there anybody else who wills to share their work? I don't see any raised hands. No, okay. Then I guess we can end the event. I just want to share my contact details with you, so that if you want, you can email me and even send me what you have done during this activity. These are our social media contacts. Again, this is my email and the project website. So thanks a lot, everyone. Again, don't forget to fill in the evaluation that we have sent via email. You will also via chat, and you will also receive an email. So for anything, any follow-up to this project, anything you wish to know, don't hesitate to contact me. Thanks once again, and have a nice afternoon. Bye.